So the Pitt DLC is finally here for Fallout 76, and I've gotta say, I'm actually kind of impressed with Bethesda. So if you didn't know what the Pit is, you're going to be leaving Appalachia for the first time and going to the Pit from Fallout 3. Although the map doesn't look the same, or the layout really isn't the same, but of course it wasn't ever going to be. But it definitely does capture the essence of the Pit very well. And I think what they did with the areas that they added to the game are really well made, and I love the design and overall vibe of the Pit. It looks really, really good. I also like the changes made to the White Springs. I like how the responders came back, kind of spruced the place up. They're trying to help people. It's pretty cool to see the responders coming back in general. I just like that faction. And I think there's a lot they could do with this area. It's also filled with interesting enough characters. There's a few different people you can go to and speak to, and you have quite a few dialogue options. Like, for example, there is one Brotherhood of Steel member inside the White Spring who may or may not be spying on the responders. But this guy will actually acknowledge your rank if you're a member of the Brotherhood of Steel yourself, which I thought was a really cool little thing. And like I said before, I think the Pit area itself is really well made. It captures the vibe and feel of the Pit. Everything's kind of orange. There's these giant buildings that are busted and broken down. It looks really, really good. And the design for the Pit is amazing, and it really gives me a lot of hope for whatever future zone they do. I think they will pull it off without a hitch. I love the overarching just design choices. It looks really, really good. I could spend all day in the Pit. They definitely nailed that nostalgia factor for sure. And the enemies you fight inside the Pit are nice looking enemies too. There's raiders and trogs with really good models. The raiders are actually wearing parts of the power armor, like the old Fallout 3 and New Vegas style, and the trogs have different variations which are pretty creepy looking still and fun to fight. Another good thing is that there is no time limit for the expedition. Once you go in, you can spend as much time inside the Pit as you want. Of course, when you leave, you won't be able to return for 24 hours unless you return with another player, but overall, I like that there's no time limit like daily ops. On the downside though, this is just a glorified daily op. You're going to an area once a day, or if you go with another person, twice or 3 times a day, you're going to be doing the same randomized group of missions. So I believe after 4 or 5, maybe 10 tries of the Pit, once you know the area pretty well, you're probably not going to want to go back to do any more of these missions. And they also introduced, yet again, another currency into the game, which I absolutely hate. The game doesn't need so many currencies. It doesn't need caps, gold bullion, stamps, and whatever else there is. It's just too many. Like, stop with these goddamn currencies. There's just so many to keep track of now. Like, I don't need a new currency with every single update in this game. No one wants this. Stop it. And the thing that I probably dislike the most is that the new weapon, the auto axe, and the power armor are all locked behind the battle pass. And of course, the power armor is individually locked behind the battle pass, so you have to make it to like rank 75 to get the full piece of armor. And I know the only reason they locked this gear behind the scoreboard was to get more people interacting with it and completing the challenges and doing the scoreboard stuff. But I'm going to be honest, Bethesda, don't do this. The gear should be collected through the area and through doing quests in the area. You shouldn't be locking it behind the scoreboard. Out of everything with this update, this is by far to me the worst part about it. Just don't lock gear behind a scoreboard. Come on, you know that's not what Fallout's about. Come on. My only other real criticism for this DLC is that it feels pretty light on story and lore stuff. So if you're going in and expecting a Fallout 3 type Pit overarching story, you're not going to be getting that. You're going to be going in, doing these set of randomized quests, and then leaving. Now, there are a few interesting little notes and stuff you can find around the area, and the people you talk to inside the Pit are interesting enough, but it's not like you're going to be getting a full-on expansion like the Pit or, Far Harbor or anything like that. Basically, to sum it up, I think it is a good addition to the game overall, and it's a big step in the right direction. If you like the core gameplay loop of 76, of going to a place, doing a task, killing some creatures, and then getting your random reward at the end, you'll probably really, really enjoy the Pit. And of course, I cannot give them enough credit on how good the actual zone itself looks. It gives me a lot of hope for the future of the game, and whatever area they go to next, I know they're absolutely going to nail the overarching vibe and feel of the area. Overall, this is an excellent addition to the game, and I hope they continue to build off of this, and we could see some really cool stuff that we may never see in any of the main Fallout games, in terms of areas and locations we get to visit. Anyways, tell me in the comments below what you think of the Pit expansion. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's more of the same? Anyways, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to, and I will see you all in the next video. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go mess around in the Pit some more.